Yeah.
Utah Jazz.
Same question posed to the fellas, man. Who would be a difference maker, needle mover, so to speak? Who can push them into the top 10? Because they've kind of been right outside the top 10 these last 2 years, actually. So who can be that presence for them?
I mean, definitely anybody down there too. So I did some research about the Jazz because I feel like they don't have a point guard, like a true like point guard. And so their leading assist person is Jordan Clarkson at 5 assists per game, which is good for, I believe, 39th in the NBA amongst players that have passed the ball for an assist. So your best player is 39th in the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 30 teams in the NBA. So he's below the average, I guess you could say. But they also are like, I want to say top 10 in assists. So the ball moves around to the point where like everybody's getting an assist. But that don't mean y'all winning games. that's the only issue. I see that, and I just see that they don't have a clear floor general that's going to set the table for a player like Lauri Markkanen, for Walker Kessler, for Colin Sexton, for Jordan Clarkson, for these other players they got on their team. So I feel like Utah, and this might just be historically, they perform better when you get a true floor general. That can be, in terms of like the Jazz, that can be Pistol Pete, that can be John Stockton, that could be Darren Williams, that could be Mike Conley last year. They need a floor general point guard. My options were Tyus Jones as an option, and that's not an exciting option for the Utah Jazz, obviously, because I mean Tyus Jones is not an all-star, but he is a floor general. He is a starting point guard for an NBA team. It's kind of discouraging because he was with Washington, which is one of the worst teams in the NBA. But Washington is immune to success. That's nothing new on this podcast. It's been 2 years for us saying that they were the Wizards, and that's what they continue to be. But we've seen Tyus Jones be successful with the Grizzlies when they got talent around him that can help score. And we've seen him get like 20 points, 10 assists. He can do it if he needs to do it, but he's a top-notch playmaker, the best assist-turnover ratio for the past few years. That's what he does. So Tyus Jones is one option. My quote-unquote dream option, which won't happen, but this is the scenario that Shitty told us to do. Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball is healthy, he's a tall, lanky point guard like Jordan Clarkson, but he can play defense. He's going to pass the ball. He can score at the rim. It's a matter of health with Lonzo Ball. So Tyus Jones ideally will be my option for them. Lonzo Ball, if he's healthy, because I don't think Chicago wants Lonzo anymore. I think they're going to try with him next year, maybe if they can. But I think Lonzo don't even want to be in Chicago regardless. So those are my options.
Good point. Kind of took mine a little bit with Lonzo. So I'm gonna go Paul George for one. I think when you think about what the Jazz need, you hit you hit the hammer on the head when you said that like they all get like I've seen a couple Jazz games, and they're dogs for one. Talent, they got to get more talent, but they're dogs. And everybody passed the ball though. I mean, even Lauri from Markkanen, he passed the ball. Like Colin Sexton, we know him to be a love of a ball, but on this team, you kind of got to be. But they like playing with each other. They're actually not bad to watch. They just uninteresting, right? Like we watch the roster. So I think Paul George can definitely come help with that, help with like the superstardom in it, help with the scoring. And I also like Tyus Jones. But my thing is like Keontae George is coming into his own. I know that's not a name that a lot of people know, but 5 assists a game, underrated. I think once you get some more seasons up under him, we'll be talking about him a little bit more. But like this team, like I said, is team players that a lot of people won't know, but they play hard. There's some dogs. But you just, like you say, got to get the talent up. So somebody like a Paul George, or, I mean, they ain't going to make the playoffs anyway. So you can add a James Harden that can come and, make ticket sales. And I guess essentially you'll be better. But again, you ain't going to make the playoffs. So it's like what you're doing. But either Paul George or James Harden, just some veteran that can come in and do a little bit of everything.
I'm actually not mad James Harden because I feel like he probably would enjoy the Mormon
Oh,
lifestyle.
he would. Well, not the Mormon lifestyle, but he will enjoy being the number one option. Again, yeah.
But yes, that. But also,
But back to him in the Mormon lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, what made you say that?
Know that. People probably don't even know what that even means.
What?
Interesting enough, you have taken what I was going to say, which was Lonzo Ball. Reason why I'm high on Lonzo Ball to go there is because I think Chicago is done. Chicago was trying to quote unquote amnesty him right these past year or two because of his injury.
They might say amnesty. It's been so long since I heard that damn word. Amnesty.
We just throwing out vocab terms today. But like, just he needs another chance. And Chicago's a big city. There's nothing in Utah, realistically, besides for Lonzo to train, get better. He don't have to wear the same shoes as his brother, right? He don't have to wear the Pumas because I guess Dad talked about it. I'm gonna get into that. But this is a new start, and Lonzo Ball is a floor general when healthy. When he knows what the offense needs, he's good at it. He's great at it. Does that affect the other players? Yeah, it will. Well, if he puts on the suit, who knows what color he'll be.
Hold on, because you really just called him Santa Claus.
You seen him in the fat suit.
Can't deal with y'all, niggas.
You just called him Santa, bro. We in April, bro.
Hard and claws, okay. But Lonzo, I think it's just a breath of fresh air. Like, you just go there. There's not a lot on you. Perform, do what you got to do. Rehab, it'll be great. And I also looked at to party about assists. It's almost the same thing, same problem I have in Miami. Like, there's no like true great rebounder. Everyone rebounds, right? Everyone has their role to play or collectively to play. And so I would like Lonzo. The only name that I thought of that could also use a new start, another point guard, and it's kind of weird, but I'm going to put him out there, is Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel was traded from the Knicks to the Raptors. They know what was happening. Likes his fresh start, maybe with Toronto, maybe not, but you can really get the keys if you want in Utah. If so, I'm not saying roll out the red carpet for Emmanuel Quickly. I don't think he's worth north of $25 million. But I would give the carpet to Lonzo Ball because I've seen him perform well. And I know this is post-injury Lonzo, but still, I would still give Lonzo a chance, even on a 1 or 2 year contract, to see what he can do. Especially, people forget how good Lauri Markkanen can really be if he had pressure taken off of him to really score pretty much all the time. And I think Lonzo can also provide that. Lonzo was also a good shooter, by the way, probably the better of the ball shooters right now, because Gio is where he in Mexico still, or he's somewhere.
Man, Gio,
yeah,
Jello.
He's somewhere geographically.
This man gave him a whole nother name.
Call that man Gio.
He called him a Gio dude.
G.I. Joe.
Gio.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
You gotta love it, bro. Anytime you come on this show, you gotta love it, bro. Got to.
Oh man. So before the show, me and Shitty was looking at Lauri's contract. I'm laughing at Ryan because he said Gio.
Gio Ball is crazy, yo.
But I was looking at Lauri Markkanen's contract. He's only making $18 million next year, which for his game, he's only 26 years old, so it's not in his prime just yet. And it got me wondering, like, does he end or does he even go into next season being on the Jazz roster? Especially like if somebody offers like a first round pick or the top pick or second pick or whatever it is, because I mean this draft is not really a super duper exciting draft in terms of like talent, not like
oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. What? I said Memphis. I'm sorry.
For those dudes don't know, he said Memphis. but I'm just man. Like, I mean,
that eclipse got me sick.
Oh,
like, world,
man! If you this man too, I'm gonna meet you, nigga. But man, like I'm wondering, does he start the season on the Jazz or even end the next season on the Jazz? Because only $18 million, that's a very affordable contract in this CBA coming up where freaking Tobias Harris making like what $50 million, $40 million,
$40 million a season.
Right, and Lauri Markkanen is literally a better version of Tobias Harris. So I'm like, somebody is going to want Lauri Markkanen on their team, and I feel like you can entice them to trade Lauri Markkanen if you give them a first round pick and like some young players. You know what I'm saying? So, what do y'all think? Does he stay with the Jazz next year, or go into next year, or at the end of next season?
The only caveat, I'm using some vocab today.
Man,
hey, come on, man.
About what you just said is how many picks do the freaking Jazz have? Because I mean, can anyone trade for their first round pick to them? Because they already got it. Yeah. Between them and who's the other team? OKC.
If you're Utah, look down the road for your next white guy, Cooper Flag. I mean,
might as well. Because he coming.
Look down the road, man.
But yeah, I don't. Lauri can really make some noise, and we're seeing what's happening with that. But I've said on this podcast before, and I don't know if it can even happen, but him and Golden State, I think would be a match made in heaven. I like the pick and pop scenarios that can happen, the pick and rolls that can happen with Lauri. I think that there is a team that can pursue him. I would love to talk about this at a different time about like who could trade for him, because now I want to like literally do some research, because like you said, and like we talked about already, less than $20 million a season.
That's crazy, bro.
Lauri for marketing,
all-star caliber player, bro. Like man,
ain't no way. It's no way. Like he's worth so much more than what his contract is, and he maybe needs to get out and go somewhere else. And I would love. I just don't know who has draft picks left. I just don't know now. So I'll leave it alone from that one.
I don't get something. I was like, we said you already had to say what your sneeze.
You know what I'm saying? No, I like the Jazz. Like I said, Jazz, man, a lot of people won't see it. A lot of people don't know the players on their roster. I've seen, like I said, a couple times, they play hard. Will they make the playoffs anytime soon? No, not really. Do they need to blow it up sometime soon? I would hope so. Why not? When you probably gonna get Cooper Flag anyway. So just blow it up, man. Lauri's probably one of the easiest trade targets that a lot of teams would and could use. But we know who calling the shots over there. I think he probably would have been traded if Danny Ainge wasn't calling the shots. So
true.
I mean, that's something you got to pay close attention to as well.
Let me actually look at Lauri's stats this year, because I haven't watched a Jazz game in a minute. Because
he's like 25, 8, and something. Let me see.
That's crazy, man.
All-star, by the way.
Yeah, 23, 8.
25, 8, 23, 8. Okay.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's like, I'll take that. What you shoot? Yeah. 23.8 points. Shit. Man, I'll take that.
You said 23, 8, and 5?
Yeah. Wow. Man, look, come be my number 2, my number 3 on my team, bro. Shoot, but Utah, I think Utah, they just got to get young. Just go ahead and buy into the tank and just start. Danny Ainge know how to build a team, man. He know how to do it. So just let him do him and just go from there.